When it comes to relationships, the most important place to start is within yourself. You cannot fully love another if you have not yet learned to love yourself in every relationship. The quality of love you give and receive is deeply influenced by how much you love and value yourself. Many people enter relationships hoping that someone else will complete them or fill an emotional void, but true fulfillment comes from within. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for all your other relationships. When you don't fully love and accept yourself, you can end up seeking validation and approval from your partner, leading to dependency, insecurities, and even resentment. But when you develop a strong sense of self-love, you create a healthy foundation for love to flow freely. Loving yourself means accepting who you are at your core with all your strengths and imperfections. It means embracing your uniqueness and understanding that you are worthy of love just as you are. Self-love is not selfish or egotistical. It is the understanding that you are deserving of respect, kindness, and compassion, starting from yourself. When you truly love yourself, you don't seek validation from others to feel whole. You're no longer dependent on someone else to make you feel loved, because you already carry that love within. In relationships, people who love themselves are more likely to set healthy boundaries. Boundaries are essential because they define what is acceptable and what is not in a relationship. Without self-love, you might allow others to treat you in ways that diminish your worth or cross your boundaries. But when you honor yourself, you can clearly communicate your needs, ensuring that your relationships are balanced and respectful. This doesn't mean you won't compromise or adapt in a relationship, but rather you'll know where to draw the line to maintain your well-being. Self-love also fosters emotional resilience. When challenges arise in a relationship, as they inevitably will, those with a strong sense of self-worth can handle conflict without falling apart. They understand that disagreements don't define their value or the worth of the relationship. Instead of becoming consumed by fear of rejection or abandonment, they can approach problems with clarity, patience, and understanding. This ability to stay grounded in your sense of self creates a more stable and supportive relationship dynamic where issues can be addressed without losing sight of the love that exists. Additionally, when you love yourself, you attract relationships that reflect this inner state of being. If you value yourself, you will attract partners who respect and appreciate you. This is because the energy you put out into the world naturally influences the kinds of people and experiences you draw into your life. A person who radiates self-love is more likely to enter into a partnership that is nurturing, balanced, and supportive because they are not willing to settle for anything less than what they deserve. Moreover, self-love allows you to give love from a place of abundance rather than need. When you are filled with love for yourself, the love you offer to others is genuine, pure, and without expectation. You're not loving from a place of fear or insecurity, but from a place of wholeness. This kind of love strengthens the bond in a relationship because it's not transactional. You're not loving someone to receive something in return, but because it feels natural to share that love with others. In contrast, when you neglect self-love, you might find yourself feeling insecure, jealous, or overly dependent on your partner's validation. This creates an unhealthy dynamic where you rely on your partner to fill emotional gaps that only you can fill. Over time, this can strain the relationship as no one else can truly compensate for the love you withhold from yourself. Ultimately, self-love is the foundation upon which fulfilling and healthy relationships are built. It allows you to approach love from a place of confidence, peace, and joy rather than fear or need. By loving yourself first, you cultivate a deep sense of worth that positively impacts every relationship in your life, creating the space for authentic, lasting love to flourish. Forgiveness is a vital key in maintaining the flow of love within any relationship. It's easy to carry hurt, anger, or disappointment from past experiences, but when you hold on to these negative emotions, they become like heavy weights, anchoring you in pain and preventing love from fully flourishing. Forgiveness, in its truest form, is not about condoning harmful behavior or pretending that nothing happened. It's about releasing the emotional burden that keeps you trapped in bitterness and choosing instead to embrace peace. In relationships, whether with a partner, family member, or friend, mistakes are inevitable. We are all human, and being human means sometimes hurting the ones we love, whether intentionally or not. It's crucial to acknowledge that these mistakes don't define the worth of a relationship. What truly matters is how we respond to them. Holding on to resentment may feel justified in the moment, but over time it chips away at the connection between two people, causing more harm than the initial offense. Forgiveness allows both you and your partner to move forward, to heal, and to rebuild trust. Many people struggle with forgiveness because they see it as a weakness, a sign that they are letting someone get away with bad behavior. But forgiveness is not about the other person, it's about freeing yourself. When you forgive, you are no longer tied to the negativity of the past. You reclaim your power and your emotional well-being. This doesn't mean that you forget what happened or that you tolerate hurtful behavior in the future. Instead, it's a conscious choice to release the hold that past hurt has on your present life. It's about creating space for healing, growth, and ultimately deeper love. Forgiveness also opens the door to empathy. When you forgive someone, you allow yourself to see things from their perspective. This doesn't mean you agree with their actions, but it means you understand that they too are on their own journey of learning and growing. No one is perfect, and recognizing this allows you to approach your partner or loved one with more compassion and understanding. This shift in perspective helps dissolve the barriers of anger and resentment, allowing love to flow once more. In relationships, forgiveness is often a continuous process. There may be small grievances that occur daily, such as a sharp word or a forgotten promise, or larger issues that take more time and emotional energy to heal. But whether big or small, each act of forgiveness strengthens the relationship by clearing the path for love to grow. It prevents past issues from festering and poisoning the connection between you and your partner. Self-forgiveness is just as important as forgiving others. Many people are harder on themselves than they are on those around them. You might replay your own mistakes in your mind, feeling unworthy of love or acceptance. But holding on to guilt or shame keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-punishment. Forgiving yourself is a powerful act of self-love, one that allows you to move forward with a lighter heart. When you let go of self-blame, you open yourself to receiving love from others, knowing that you are worthy, flaws and all. Ultimately, forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It lifts the weight of past hurts and opens the door to greater love, understanding, and connection. Without it, relationships become burdened by the past. With it, they flourish, as both partners are free to grow, learn, and love more fully. When you forgive, you clear the way for a future built on love, rather than pain. This communication is at the heart of every strong relationship. It's the bridge that connects two people, allowing them to share their thoughts, feelings, dreams, and concerns. Without clear, honest communication, misunderstandings easily arise, leading to frustration and distance between partners. To build a thriving relationship, it's essential to communicate openly and consistently, not only when things are going well, but also during challenging times. Many people underestimate the power of words in a relationship. Words can uplift, inspire, and bring two hearts closer together, or they can wound, divide, and create emotional barriers. Every word spoken carries energy, and the way we choose to express ourselves can shape the course of a relationship. Speaking from a place of love, kindness, and honesty nurtures the bond between two people, allowing trust and understanding to grow. However, communication isn't just about talking, it's also about listening, truly listening. Often in conversations, we're so focused on what we want to say next that we forget to hear what the other person is actually saying. Real communication requires active listening, where you give your full attention to the other person without judgment or interruption. When you listen with an open heart and mind, you create a safe space for your partner to share their thoughts and feelings, knowing they will be heard and understood. Active listening also involves tuning into what's not being said. Sometimes people express themselves through body language, tone of voice, or subtle cues that reveal deeper emotions. By paying attention to these nonverbal signals, you can gain a better understanding of what your partner is truly feeling. even when they find it difficult to put their emotions into words. This type of deep listening fosters empathy and connection, helping both partners feel more attuned to each other. Open communication is especially important during moments of conflict. Disagreements are natural in any relationship, but how you handle them can either strengthen or weaken the bond you share. When conflicts arise, it's crucial to approach them with a mindset of resolution rather than blame. Avoiding difficult conversations only allows tension to build over time, but addressing issues with compassion and honesty creates an opportunity for growth. During these conversations, it's helpful to express your feelings without attacking or accusing the other person. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try framing it as, "I feel unheard when we talk, and it's important to me that we communicate openly." This approach focuses on your feelings rather than placing blame, which can make your partner more receptive to the conversation. Similarly, be open to hearing their perspective without immediately becoming defensive. Often the root of a conflict is not about who's right or wrong, but about feeling misunderstood or disconnected. Effective communication also involves being vulnerable. It's easy to talk about surface-level things, but true intimacy comes from sharing your deeper fears, desires, and emotions. Vulnerability can be uncomfortable, as it requires you to open yourself up and expose your inner world. But this level of honesty is essential for creating a deep emotional connection. When you share your authentic self with your partner, you invite them to do the same, creating a space of trust and mutual understanding. In addition to verbal communication, nonverbal forms of expression such as physical touch, affectionate gestures, and eye contact play a significant role in building intimacy. Sometimes a comforting hug or a loving glance can communicate more than words ever could. Being mindful of these subtle ways of connecting strengthens the emotional bond and helps to maintain closeness in the relationship. Ultimately, communication is a practice. It requires continuous effort, patience, and openness from both partners. By making communication a priority in your relationship, you create a foundation of trust, respect, and emotional intimacy that allows love to flourish. Whether through words, actions, or silent understanding, the way you communicate will define the depth and quality of your connection. In any relationship, the desire to control outcomes and ensure everything goes as planned can be overwhelming. We often think that by controlling situations, we can protect ourselves from disappointment, rejection, or hurt. But the truth is, control is an illusion. The more we try to manage every aspect of a relationship, the more strained it becomes. Real love thrives in an atmosphere of trust, not control. When you let go of the need to control, you create space for genuine connection, growth, and freedom. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship. It's the invisible thread that binds two people together, allowing them to feel safe, supported, and connected. When trust exists, both partners can relax into the relationship, knowing they are accepted for who they are. But when control creeps in, it erodes that sense of security. The need to control often comes from fear of losing the other person, fear of being vulnerable, or fear of the unknown. However, relationships built on fear are fragile and tense, constantly on edge, because one or both partners are trying to control the outcome. Trust, on the other hand, is freeing. When you trust your partner, you allow them to be themselves without trying to mold them into your idea of who they should be. You accept that they have their own thoughts, feelings, and decisions, and you honor their autonomy. This doesn't mean that trust is blind or that you overlook red flags. Rather, it's about releasing the need to micromanage the relationship and trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to, even if that means facing challenges along the way. One of the most common ways control manifests in relationships is through expectations. We often have a mental image of how things should be, how our partner should behave, or how the relationship should progress. When reality doesn't align with these expectations, we may feel frustrated, anxious, or resentful. But relationships are fluid and ever-changing. They require flexibility and the willingness to adapt. By letting go of rigid expectations, you allow the relationship to evolve naturally, without the pressure of constantly trying to make things fit a predetermined mold. Another aspect of control is the desire to protect ourselves from vulnerability. Being in a relationship means opening yourself up to another person, which can feel risky. You're sharing your heart, your dreams, and your fears, knowing that there's a possibility you could be hurt. It's tempting to put up walls or try to control how much of yourself you reveal in order to avoid getting hurt. But vulnerability is a necessary part of intimacy. Without it, the connection remains superficial, lacking the depth that true love requires. When you trust your partner, you allow yourself to be vulnerable, knowing that they will hold that vulnerability with care. This mutual trust creates a safe space where both partners can be their authentic selves without fear of judgment or rejection. It's in this space of trust and vulnerability that love deepens and grows stronger. By releasing control, you give yourself the gift of experiencing love in its purest form, free from fear and rooted in trust. Control can also show up in subtle ways, like trying to influence your partner's decisions or behavior. You may think that by guiding them toward a certain path, you're helping them or the relationship. But this kind of control often backfires. It can lead to resentment, as your partner may feel like they are not free to make their own choices. True partnership is about supporting each other's growth, even if that growth looks different from what you envisioned. Trusting your partner means allowing them to make their own decisions, even if they make mistakes along the way. It's through these experiences that both individuals and the relationship itself can grow and strengthen. Releasing control doesn't mean being passive or ignoring important issues. It's about finding a balance between being involved and allowing space for trust. It's about letting go of the need to predict or force an outcome, and instead trusting that the relationship will unfold as it's meant to. This trust fosters a deeper connection because both partners feel free to be themselves without the pressure of constantly meeting someone else's expectations or demands. At the core, releasing control and embracing trust is an act of faith, not just in your partner, but in yourself and in the relationship. It's a recognition that you cannot control everything, and that's okay. Trust allows love to breathe, to expand, and to grow in ways that control never can. When you let go of control, you open your heart to the possibility of a deeper, more authentic connection, where love is not something you manage, but something you experience fully. In relationships, love is not something that should be assumed or taken for granted. It's easy to fall into routines where the love between two people becomes an unspoken presence, but over time, without nurturing, even the strongest bonds can weaken. Affirming love daily is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to keep that connection alive and thriving. These small, consistent acts of affection, appreciation, and kindness build a solid foundation for long-lasting love and trust. Affirming love daily means consciously choosing to express your love in words and actions every day. It could be something as simple as saying, "I love you" before leaving the house, offering a heartfelt compliment, or expressing gratitude for something your partner did. These expressions of love don't have to be grand gestures. In fact, it's often the little everyday moments that have the most impact. A gentle touch, a smile, or a thoughtful note can be enough to remind your partner that they are cherished and valued. Relationships flourish when both partners feel seen, appreciated, and loved. Daily affirmations of love strengthen the emotional bond, creating a sense of security and trust. When your partner knows that they are loved, they are more likely to feel safe in being vulnerable and authentic. This trust allows for open communication, deeper emotional intimacy, and mutual support. It also helps to create a positive feedback loop, where each partner feels encouraged to continue expressing love and appreciation, reinforcing the bond between them. Affirming love is not just about verbal expressions. It can also be shown through acts of kindness and consideration. Doing something thoughtful for your partner, like preparing their favorite meal or taking on a task they usually handle, communicates love in a tangible way. These small acts show that you are thinking about them and that their happiness and well-being are important to you. When these actions are performed with genuine care, they become an ongoing source of warmth and connection in the relationship. In moments of stress or conflict, affirming love daily becomes even more crucial. During challenging times, it's easy to get caught up in frustration or misunderstandings, but this is when love needs to be affirmed the most. A simple reminder of your love can help diffuse tension and bring both partners back to the core of the relationship. It serves as a gentle reminder that despite any temporary disagreements, the love between you is still strong and worth nurturing. Affirming love also strengthens trust in a relationship. Trust is built over time through consistent actions that demonstrate care and reliability. By affirming your love daily, you show your partner that you are committed to the relationship and that they can depend on you emotionally. This daily reinforcement of love creates a stable foundation, where both partners feel secure in knowing that their feelings are reciprocated and valued. The more trust that is built through these affirmations, the more freedom each partner feels to be themselves without fear of being judged or taken for granted. In addition, affirmations of love encourage both partners to focus on the positive aspects of their relationship. It's easy to become distracted by the stresses of life or the imperfections of day-to-day interactions, but when you make a conscious effort to express love, you're choosing to highlight the good. This shift in focus can help both partners feel more grateful for each other, fostering a sense of appreciation and joy in the relationship. Moreover, daily affirmations of love keep the emotional connection between partners strong, even when life gets busy or challenging. In a world where distractions are constant, making the effort to affirm love ensures that the relationship remains a priority. It serves as a reminder that no matter what else is happening, your connection is something worth celebrating and nurturing every single day. In essence, affirming love daily is a practice that keeps the heart of a relationship alive. It cultivates a deep sense of trust, emotional security, and appreciation, allowing love to grow stronger over time. By making the effort to express love in words and actions, you not only enrich your relationship, but also create a lasting bond that can withstand the ups and downs of life. Healing old wounds is essential for building trust and creating a healthy, fulfilling relationship. Past hurts, whether from this relationship or previous ones, can leave emotional scars that affect how we connect with others. These wounds often manifest as fear, insecurity, or distrust, creating barriers that prevent deep emotional intimacy. In order to fully love and trust, it is important to acknowledge and heal these old wounds, allowing the relationship to thrive in a space of openness and mutual respect. Many people carry emotional baggage from past experiences into new relationships, often without realizing it. Unresolved pain from betrayal, rejection, or disappointment can linger, influencing how we perceive and respond to current situations. For example, if someone has been hurt by a previous partner, they may find it difficult to trust their new partner, even if there is no reason to doubt them. These old wounds can cause them to be overly cautious, distant, or even defensive, preventing the relationship from growing. To heal old wounds, the first step is acknowledging them. It's important to be honest with yourself about the pain you are still carrying. Many people try to bury their past hurts, believing that time alone will heal them. But without conscious effort, those wounds can remain unresolved and continue to influence your behavior. Taking time to reflect on past experiences and understanding how they have shaped your emotions and reactions is key to moving forward. In a relationship, it's important to communicate openly about past wounds with your partner. Sharing your feelings and experiences in a safe and supportive environment allows your partner to understand the roots of your fears or insecurities. This kind of vulnerability can be scary, as it requires you to expose parts of yourself that are still tender, but it is a necessary step in healing. When your partner understands your past hurts, they can offer support, reassurance, and patience, helping to create a healing environment. Forgiveness also plays a crucial role in healing old wounds. This doesn't mean condoning past wrongs or pretending that the hurt didn't happen, but rather choosing to let go of the emotional grip it has on you. Holding on to resentment or anger only keeps the wound open, preventing true healing. Forgiveness is a personal decision that allows you to release the pain and move forward without the weight of the past dragging you down. It frees you from the cycle of hurt and allows love to flow more freely in your current relationship. Building trust in a relationship after being hurt requires time, patience, and effort from both partners. It's important to create new, positive experiences that can help overwrite the old patterns of pain and mistrust. This can include being consistent in your actions, showing care and support, and practicing open communication. Small acts of kindness and consideration build up over time, reinforcing trust and creating a sense of security within the relationship. Healing also requires self-compassion. It's important to be gentle with yourself as you work through old wounds. Healing is not a linear process, and there may be moments when old fears resurface. During these times, it's important to remind yourself that healing takes time and that it's okay to feel vulnerable or uncertain. By treating yourself with kindness and patience, you allow the healing process to unfold naturally. As old wounds heal, trust begins to blossom. When you no longer carry the weight of past hurts, you can be more present and engaged in your relationship. You are able to trust your partner with a clear heart, unburdened by past fears. This deepens the emotional connection between you, allowing the relationship to grow stronger and more resilient. Ultimately, healing old wounds is a gift you give to yourself and your relationship. It frees you from the chains of the past and allows you to build a future based on love, trust, and understanding. By doing the inner work to heal, you create the space for a more fulfilling and trusting relationship, one that is grounded in emotional health and mutual respect.